Alright. So, I didn't want to get back up on the soapbox, as it were. But I just had a feeling I had to. Because what WWE and essentially TKO are doing with Mania 42 is insanity, in my opinion. And it's 3 layers of insanity. Insanity layer number 1. They, right now, and when I say they, I mean WWE, they don't have a finalized card yet. Now, granted, wrestling booking can be in a state of flux. You don't know who's going to be injured. You don't know who's going to come back from injury. You don't know who's going to be coming into the company. You don't know who might be leaving the company. So, that's just a bit of flux. I understand that part. But at the same time, this is your biggest show of the year. You should have at least rough ideas as to what you are putting on your show. Like, whenever I do my fantasy bookings on the channel, I think of the mindset of plug and play booking, where essentially, if one person isn't able to do the storyline, then you plug in somebody else. And I'm also of the firm belief of sink or swim moments. Like, for instance, earlier this year, I think it would have been a bold decision to have Breaker win the world title on the first Raw of the year. Would have been a bold decision. And for me, I would have done it just as a, let's see if he sinks or swims. We'll just see what happens. And if it doesn't work out, you can take the title off him at, say, Elimination Chamber or something like that. But that's just how I operate. I understand why they didn't change the title, because they had a story in place. It's okay to make booking decisions if you have a path going forward. But to not have, you have at least one main event match. You potentially have another in the WWE title match. But nothing else, huh? Nothing for the mid-card? Nothing for the women's stuff? Nothing like that? Like, come on. Like, get your stuff together here. Insanity level number 2. And I've talked about this in my other soapbox style video of the state of wrestling. Prices. They are literally pricing out the people that can go to these shows and are making it absolutely nigh on impossible. Like, for instance, there's a show, WWE Raw is going to be coming relatively close to me. Literally the not night after, but a couple nights after Elimination Chamber. WWE Raw will be in my backyard, Indianapolis. And we're, I don't know, maybe, let me say, less than a month away from it. And I'm now just starting to consider getting tickets for it because they're actually now affordable. And, don't even get me started on, their PLE prices. Because, holy moly, PLE prices are absolutely insane. And that's not even to mention the fact, the big four shows. More specifically, we'll talk about WrestleMania. We all remember all those prices when they first released them. 70 grand for front row at WrestleMania. That is literally a mortgage on a house or a really expensive car. All for WrestleMania. Now, I've been a fan of wrestling for over, we're coming up on 12 years, essentially. And, I've been to all sorts of shows. Local indies to super indies, DPW, rest in peace to them, and GCW. All the way up to the big shows, WWE and AEW. Also has been to house shows. More specifically, the NXT house shows, when they used to run those. And those were fun. Those were fun to go to because, one, they put on a great show, and two, they were also affordable. But it doesn't seem to be that way right now. And it's currently starting to, bite them on the ass because I think I saw somewhere that ticket sales for this year's Mania, I think, are 18% down from last year. And I wonder why. Oh, it's because of the ticket prices. And it also may be because of insanity level number 3. They are literally pushing out people from Las Vegas. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, when you go to WrestleMania, you're not just going for WrestleMania. You're going for all of the things. Or at least I'm assuming you are. You're going for WrestleCon. You're going for all the independent shows that are going to be in town. From GCW to whoever else is running. You're going to go to, of course, the WWE shows. SmackDown before Mania, maybe even the Hall of Fame, Raw after Mania, and of course WrestleMania itself. Not even mention the fact that you have to get, hotels, you have to deal about food. If you're even thinking about, going and to the casino and doing some gambling, you might be able to do that. All that cost is going to add up. But for those that don't want to go that route, still want to do all the cool stuff, and still want to watch Mania, well, you can go to a restaurant. You can go to a bar that's showing it, and they're perfect. You don't have to spend so much money on a ticket. You don't got to worry about that, paying, $500 to $1,000 to sit in the nosebleeds for both nights, and then, have to deal with all this extra costs and stuff like that. You can just go, do what you want to do, and then go to a restaurant and watch the show. Yeah, not this year, because reportedly WWE is blacking out the city of Las Vegas from showing the show in restaurants and bars for at least a 50-mile radius. 50 miles from Vegas is basically the radius. Now, the reason why they bring these big shows to these cities is for one simple reason: money. These big events bring in tourists to these cities, and I should know because I chatted with a guy when I went to Royal Rumble when I went up for Royal Rumble weekend. I I chatted from a guy who was from London. So all these big events bring in tourists to whatever city. Tourists spend money in places, whether that be in hotels, gambling, souvenirs, whatever, and restaurants and bars where, you might show a wrestling show. Just saying. Now, to be a little bit of a devil's advocate here, this is not the first instance of them essentially blacking out a city, not being able to show the PLE. Because if we remember all the way back to Mania 3, Vince did the exact same thing in Pontiac. Blacked out the show, I believe, in the entire state of Michigan. Or at least in Pontiac, so that it would get people to go to the show. Now, granted, again, talking 1987 to now, of course ticket prices are going to go up. That's just natural with inflation. That's just how the economy is just going to go. But, again, circling back to insanity level number 2, 70 grand for front row, 50 grand for row 2, and, maybe a couple $1,000 for, maybe a seat in the 100s, maybe even in the 200s. What are we doing here? You are pricing out the people that want to go to these shows, which now can't. You are axing an opportunity for people to watch the show and for the city and the state to benefit from tourism. And you're doing all this while not having a full card on the plate. What on earth are y'all doing? I think it is safe to say that the honeymoon period for Triple H as booker of the company has long passed. I think people gave grace at the beginning of 2025. That grace was bone dry at the end of 2025. And from my perspective, it's getting drier. So, it's just the nature of the world. And plus, if you want to go see wrestling, that's actually affordable and, in my opinion, is actually better. AEW's on the other side of the fence. So why don't you go check them out? And plus, support your local shows. Support, super indies. Because God knows when WWE is going to, purchase them and, work with them in a partnership. But hey, that's just me. It's just Daniel Strunk. And that's just my opinion.